Good morning. Let the bells ring. Welcome home. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us and the wider world. We gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Good morning and welcome to Wedgewood. It looks like it might rain a little bit today, and we were just saying I'll be happy we don't have to water anything if it'll rain a little bit. So it is a very, very nice day, and it is the second day of Pride. So we are so happy to be celebrating the month of Pride here at Wedgewood. We will be celebrating today, and we'll be celebrating all month. But welcome, we're glad you're here, whether you're here live in person during the service or you're joining us later in the day or the week. We are so glad you chose to spend time with us today. And now Liz has some awesome announcements.
Thank you, Melba. Good morning, everyone. As Melba said, we have some really wonderful announcements. So next Sunday, instead of having a regularly scheduled church, it is the day, Sunday, June 9th, at the Independent Picture House. We will have our first ever film festival. I don't know if excited is the right word. There's been a lot of anticipation. And everyone on the committee has worked really hard, and we have a lot of tickets reserved for this film festival, bringing awareness to what's going on in Palestine. We have some great speakers lined up and a selection of films that really showcases the experiences of Palestinian folks over the years, not just what's happening now, but really setting into context what's been going on. So don't miss out. Tickets are free. However, there aren't that many left. There's only about 75 tickets left total for this event. So if you want to reserve a ticket to see any of the shows, we encourage you to do so as soon as possible because we're going to sell out very quickly. And if you have reserved a ticket, we'll see you there. And even if you haven't been able to reserve a ticket or aren't able to attend, we appreciate you helping to spread the word, because in addition to the film festival, we are encouraging folks to donate. So actually, if you can go to the next slide, Ryan. Thank you. So we are also doing a fundraiser for the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. And if you scan the QR code on your screen, I've actually set up a fundraising page through the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund's website. Our goal is, I believe it's like $2,000 I have it set to. We're hoping to raise as much money as we can to support their work because it is more important than ever now. And we appreciate everyone who donates. And it is not required to donate if you are attending the film festival, but definitely encouraged. Because social justice is very much the core of who we are, and we live that out loud in so many different ways, being it advocating for, the Black Lives Matter movement or Pride Month or, people experiencing genocide. Social justice really manifests in so many different ways, even encouraging people to go vote and make your voices heard and exercising your democratic rights to a vote. There's so many different ways that social justice is manifested at Wedgewood, and it's at the core of who we are. And we encourage everyone to really, if you're not really familiar with Wedgewood, check out our website and learn more about us and how we do things, because it really speaks to who we are and what we believe. And speaking of, one of the things that we do in the name of social justice, which is one of the many things that we do, is we have our social justice book club. And our next meeting is this coming Thursday, June 6th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We will be reading through page 222. However, you don't have to currently be reading the book if you want to join, if you just want to listen and learn. The author, I believe, is taking part in the book club, which is really exciting. It's definitely a dense and heavy read, but it's so timely, and the discussions have been really phenomenal. So feel free to join us. It's completely free. The Zoom link is on our website. It's in our social media. It's in our newsletter, and there's lots of different ways to join, and we encourage you to do so. And some community events. The Poor People's Campaign that we support, they have a March on Washington on Saturday, June 29th. There will be buses going from Charlotte. So if you want to learn more, you can visit poorpeoplescampaign.org, and they've got more information. So we are small, but we are mighty. We say that a lot because it really is true. We've got huge hearts, and we have a lot of really exciting things going on in the life of Wedgewood. We've got our film festival. We've had so many different wonderful events going on. We had our, earlier in May, we had our homecoming that we also celebrated in conjunction with Cinco de Mayo and had community time together. There's lots of really exciting things happening in the life of Wedgewood right now. And we want you to be a part of it. But in order to do so, and to not just have a seat at the table, but to have a voice at the table and have a vote and all the things that are going on, you do need to become a member. It is very easy to join. It's just a simple Google form. We don't make you take a class or anything. But if you are interested in becoming a member, please reach out to the church. You can send us, any one of us, a private message, either myself, Ashanti, Ryan, Melba, anybody at Wedgewood, and we will get you that form, and we would love to have you. And connect with us. There's a lot of different ways to do so. Please follow us on Instagram. Excuse me. You can like and follow our Facebook page as well as join our Facebook group. We encourage you to do both because we need a certain number of followers for our business page in order to do some things with it on Facebook. You can also visit our website. We keep that updated. You can sign up for our newsletter that goes out weekly. You can also email us or call us, but there's lots of different ways to get in touch. And we are here to help. Wedgewood has 4 people that kind of serve as resources and the staff. Melba is our ministerial coordinator. I'm the community outreach coordinator. Ashanti is the music coordinator, and Ryan is our technology coordinator. And so we have lots of things going on. I feel like we are just getting started. So as you are so moved, we really appreciate any offering or any donations that you can give to help support our work. Thank you very much.
And our prelude, Brave. What a perfect song for this morning, Brave. This is certainly not the time to be silent. There's so much happening and so many things going on in our country and in the world. I saw somebody this morning say on Facebook to somebody else, "Thank you for saying what you said on Facebook this morning. It needed to be said." And I haven't seen what they said, but I'll look at it later. But yeah, some things need to be said, and we're just going to have to be brave and speak up for the marginalized, for our country, for human rights. So that's a perfect song this morning. I really enjoyed hearing it, and it was very inspiring. And now Ryan will lead us in our extravagant welcome.
We are all welcome here. Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and the care of Mother Earth.
We are all welcome here.
An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting or believing, being depressed or full of joy.
We are all welcome here.
We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers striving to learn from and embody the way of servant leadership.
We are all
welcome here.
We focus on the plundered and the marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day.
We are all welcome here.
One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story.
We are all welcome here. And now we come to a time of celebrations and concerns. Share anything you're celebrating today or any concerns that are on your heart this morning. Anyone?
I have a few celebrations. First, I want to say Happy Pride Month. We are officially in June, and it's very exciting. I also want to celebrate the fact that our little film festival that could is really getting a lot of visibility, and it's largely through word of mouth, which has been so incredible. We are almost sold out for the film festival. We have a total of 385 seats for people to reserve tickets for the film festival, and we have 310 reserved. So we're going to be completely sold out very soon, which is very exciting because we are raising awareness. Even people who may not be attending are becoming more aware of what we're doing and the cause that we are supporting, and hopefully we'll be able to raise some money for the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund as well. So very exciting.
Very, very exciting and something to definitely celebrate. And I'll just give you a hint. After the film festival, going towards the end of summer and the fall, we have a little celebration planned. So we won't tell any more than that, but it's going to be a fun celebration. So get ready. I'll say get your dancing shoes on. That's a hint. Any other celebrations? Concerns? Certainly we want to remember Palestine. We want to remember Rafah, who just keeps getting bombarded. And we want to pray for Israel as well. We just hope that somehow peace can come to that area. But we do pray for those in Palestine who are just trying to survive one more day.
And the Ukraine too.
And Ukraine, absolutely.
And the LGBTQ community, we are still under attack. Our drag community is still under attack. Our children are still under attack. And this is an election year that is literally going to affect the direction of our lives.
Absolutely. It's going to affect the direction of all of our lives. In some communities more so than others. We celebrate Connie Green being with us and that she's getting better. We miss you when you're not here, and it's good to hear your voice, even if it's a little crackly. It's good to hear it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I feel blessed that I'm part of the group.
We're blessed with your presence. Anything else this morning? My son's mother-in-law is still very ill in Calgary, Canada, so please continue to remember her. In the spirit of Wedgewood, we will have a few moments of silence. If you believe in prayer, by all means, use this time to pray. Meditation, self-reflection. We all need to take a few minutes sometimes and reflect on ourselves and how we can be better humans in this world. And maybe just a time of quiet. Sometimes we want to shake things off our shoulders and start anew. So however you choose to use this time, please do. Amen. Our words of wisdom this morning come from Harvey Milk. The first quote being, "It takes no compromise to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no political deal to give people their freedom. It takes no survey to remove repression. And going right along with that, Harvey said, rights are won only by those who make their voices heard. Rights are won only by those who make their voices heard. So we must make our voices heard. And with that, I'll turn it over to Liz.
Thank you, Melba. And I'm actually going to switch my backgrounds and take my Wedgewood hat off and put on the hat of my day job, which is actually with Charlotte Pride. And I'm going to share my screen if it will let me. Let's see. Okay, I might have to do it this way. Okay, that's fine. So it is my honor and privilege to be able to speak to you today and share a little bit about the history of Pride in Charlotte, because not a lot of people know about Charlotte's history with Pride, which actually goes back decades. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today. Okay, so as many of you know, my name is Liz Schob. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the communications manager for Charlotte Pride. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure. With technology, you just never know. But I'm the communications manager for Charlotte Pride. And what that means is if you have ever visited our website, if you have ever visited our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter page, any of our social media, or even our mobile app, if you have ever seen an advertisement for Charlotte Pride, any sort of trailer for an event, if you have ever been to our festivals, any of our festivals, and seen banners and flyers and brochures and signage and stage backdrops and info towers, anything with that, I am responsible for all of that. And it is a really incredible job. And I work with some amazing people who feel so strongly in LGBTQ rights and equality for everyone, because no one is free until we are all free, as a wise person once said. So for today, I'm going to go through a few things. I'm going to talk about who is Charlotte Pride, because a lot of people might not know about who we are and our history. We're also going to dive into the origins of Pride overall, as well as Pride in Charlotte. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Pride means, as well as our community as a whole. I'm going to share some action steps and ways to get involved, and then I'll open the floor for questions and discussion. So who is Charlotte Pride? We are very much the leader of LGBTQ community visibility in Charlotte and the Carolinas. We are the largest LGBTQ organization and the largest Pride organization in the Carolinas. And we're the second largest Pride festival and parade in the South after Atlanta Pride. And we have a number of events and activities throughout the year. So most people know of us from our Pride festival parade and like weekends that happens in every August. However, we have affinity groups like Charlotte Latinx Pride, Charlotte Trans Pride, Charlotte Women's Pride. We also have an interfaith program. The Sunday before the festival and parade weekend, we have an interfaith service. We also have a film festival that happens every May at the Independent Picture House, 5 days of LGBTQ cinema. We also have a job fair that happens every February. And we have a scholarship program that gives out thousands of dollars to LGBTQ and ally students in the Charlotte region. And our commitment to the community extends through all of these programs. And we are committed to treating everyone with respect and dignity and creating continuous learning and involvement opportunities and creating awareness on intersectional issues that impact the lives of our diverse community and offers opportunities for year-round engagement, recognition, and empowerment of the volunteers that make what we do possible. So we have a few focus areas. Our signature arts and culture programs include Reel Out Charlotte, the Queen City's annual LGBTQ film festival, as well as Flourish, which is a mini arts festival within our larger festival in August. And that is very much a celebration of LGBTQ arts and culture. We have a drag pageant that happens during the festival weekend where we have a drag court that vies for Miss Charlotte Pride, Mr. Charlotte Pride, and Mix Charlotte Pride. We have our interfaith program, and we also have the Charlotte Pride History Project, which I'll go into in a moment. We also focus on economic growth and upward mobility, and that is really highlighted through our job fair and our scholarship program. We also support the economic well-being of LGBTQ small business owners and entrepreneurs through vendor opportunities at our festival and parade weekends, as well as our job fair and other opportunities throughout the year. We also are members of the Carolinas LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and it's a wonderful opportunity to network with LGBTQ-owned and affirming employers at large-scale events. And we also recognize several young people who are amazing young leaders through our scholarship program. And we also partner with the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority and other local organizations to support and promote tourism into the local economy. We are also committed to community solidarity and community support. During the COVID pandemic in particular, we unveiled our COVID-19 relief program, which we were hoping to expand. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, but we were able to do a number of things, including support our Solidarity Fund and support annual community events like Trans Day of Visibility and Trans Day of Remembrance. And we were able to do some coat drives and do some financial support for community members during the height of the COVID pandemic. Our programs are designed to fulfill our mission, which is to enrich, empower, and strengthen and make more visible our communities. And we do so through a broad range of year-round programs and activities that I've elaborated on, as well as targeted community education and engagement campaigns, as well as through regular social media awareness and education programs. We are proud to have recently partnered for the 2020 census, combating housing discrimination and promoting LGBTQ inclusive non-discrimination protections. I believe this most recent census is one of the first times that LGBTQ folks were included actively in the census, which was a very, very big deal. And we're proud to have participated in that. So, most people know us for the Festival and Parade weekend, but I'd like to reiterate because I feel so strongly about this. We are so much more than just a festival. We were officially founded in the year 2000. We had our first festival in 2001, but we've been able to expand our year-round programming and partnerships to better connect with community members through our mission, vision, and values. And we are one of the largest prides, not only in the country, but especially in the Southeast. We're towards the large end. But at the same time, most people don't realize that Charlotte Pride only has 3 staff. There are 3 paid full-time staff, and we are supported thanks to the generous work of our volunteer team. And you can see many of them on the screen here. And there are many more. And we have a board of directors who works really hard to help support us, as well as a team of volunteers. But Charlotte Pride only has 3 paid staff, soon to have a 4th staffer, which is very exciting. But we're just 3 staff plus a team of volunteers who are really passionate about the work that we do and bringing LGBTQ visibility to the forefront. So let's dive into the legacy of Pride in the Queen City. And I want to give a special thank you, shout out to David Ratchford and the Keynote Photo Archive. They have been documenting the LGBTQ community here in Charlotte for decades. And we're so grateful for their friendship and partnership. So 2024, this year, marks the 23rd anniversary of the founding of Charlotte Pride and the 42nd anniversary of the first Pride events in Charlotte and North Carolina. Our movement for gay rights in the Queen City was pretty slow going. We have Stonewall that happened in 1969, and there were some attempts from 1971 to 1975 with the gay liberation movement to really pick things up as a pride, but we didn't have our first Pride until 1981. We did have the Charlotte Free Press, which was North Carolina's first but very short-lived gay newspaper. And then in 1975, there was Dignity, which was the local chapter of a national LGBTQ Catholic support group that would later morph into a largely non-religious social group called Acceptance. A local oral historian, Christina Wright, argues that Charlotte, like other mid-sized southern cities at the time, we would experience gay liberation on a very different timeline from larger cities like New York or Chicago or LA. And so pride in the Queen City didn't really emerge until the late 60s and early 80s, and really only finding organizational power and organizing power during the unfolding of the AIDS crisis. And so as shaky as it was, the groundwork was laid in Charlotte in the mid 70s in Charlotte would pave the way for the growth of some of the city's first successful LGBTQ organizations. We have so many wonderful or people who helped kind of found the Pride movement here in Charlotte, like Don King. And his Acceptance group acted as an activist training ground. There was Out of It, which was Charlotte's gay and lesbian switchboard that was also formed. And then Don King and Billy Stickle formed the Queen City Coordinators, more popularly known as QCQ. And that was the organization that was responsible for fundraising for the very first, or for a number of LGBT organizations, and really helped lay the groundwork for our first Pride Festival. And it was in June 1981 that we had our very first Pride Week events, which is very exciting. And then a week later, Durham would host North Carolina's very first gay and lesbian Pride March. And that week-long series of events included workshops, nightlife parties, an outdoor disco, a concert, softball tournament, and a really fabulous rally. And by 1983, our gay pride events had really kind of shrunken, literally to the point of having a small event in the parking lot of the Scorpio, which recently closed, that's been really sad for us. And then in June 1984, our Pride event was moved to Parkwood Park. And that Prides would follow a very similar pattern in Charlotte through the rest of the 80s and early 90s. They would be very small, but public pride picnics, first hosted by Queen City Coordinators and then later planned by Q-Notes, which transitioned from the Queen City Coordinators newsletter to a formal monthly newspaper in 1986. And they are still around today. So this picture I'd love to show because this was a very big year and very big event in the life of LGBTQ people in North Carolina as well as Charlotte. Charlotte hosted the North Carolina Pride March in 1994. And that was a very, very big deal for us. It really changed things. And we placed a bid in 1993 to host North Carolina Pride in 1994. And we received the go-ahead, which was incredible. And we were able to expand with that visibility from just our smaller events to a large opening event on Friday with comedian Leah Delaria, who some of you may have seen if you ever watched Orange is the New Black on Netflix. We had an all-day expo with workshops and vendors, nonprofit organizations. We also had an interfaith service at Marshall Park, an evening banquet, an AIDS vigil, a Saturday night dance at Founders Hall at what is now Bank of America's headquarters on Tryon Street. And then on Sunday, everything culminated with a march and a rally. So this was a very big deal for Charlotte and the queer community here because we were a small town. Charlotte didn't used to be this massive city. We've really grown a lot, but the LGBTQ community has really put our stamp on it. And this was a really proud moment for us. It was Charlotte's Pride event in 1994 was the largest the state had seen. We had nearly 4,000 participants in the march and 2,000 danced the night away at Founders Hall, which was really exciting. And riding off the high of the success of the 1994 event, organizers realized that Charlotte really needed our own annual Pride celebration. And so Out Charlotte was born. That was our first annual LGBTQ Arts and Culture Festival, which attracted people from all over the city and all over the state. And that really kind of kicked things off. And we had a few successful years without Charlotte, but then in 2000, we had some community members feel that the time was right to give our LGBT community an extra boost for visibility. The Charlotte in the year 2000 was not the little Charlotte of those early organizing days in the 70s and 80s. The AIDS crisis had lent urgency to the need for LGBTQ Charlotteans to organize and to advocate and be visible. And the late 80s and 90s had seen an explosion of growth, and new organizations came to Charlotte, giving rise to groups that are still with us today, including PFLAG Charlotte, Time Out Youth, RAIN, and so much more. And actually, even in 1993, Charlotte hosted PFLAG's national conference, which was very exciting. But despite all of that progress and growth, the organizers of the Charlotte Pride event felt that our community wasn't really as visible as other cities. And they saw an annual event as a means to empower others and bring a spotlight onto the lives of LGBTQ folks. And so starting in 2001, we hosted our first big festival in Uptown's Marshall Park every year through 2005. But the thing is, with visibility, especially with our community, there's a flip side to that, right? That visibility came, and it came fast. And it didn't take long for the anti-LGBTQ protesters to start taking notice of our festival in Uptown. And some of you might be familiar with this name. I certainly was, even before I came to Charlotte Pride. Flip Benham, who was the leader of Operation Save America and a street preacher infamously known for his bombastic, in-your-face, anti-choice, and anti-LGBTQ protesting, was really intent on ensuring that the future of Charlotte Pride and our events was halted. And a permit was issued for our festival, and the event moved forward. However, the Benhams and other protesters increased their protest presence, and they descended with hundreds and hundreds of protesters on Marshall Park that year, causing pretty significant disruptions. Despite that, we were never silenced. And between 2006 and 2010, Pride Charlotte, as we were known then, steadily grew in size and attendance. And by 2010, we had outgrown our space, and we had moved to partially private property and public street space and what is now the Avid Exchange Music Factory, and grew to around 10,000 visitors. But several years removed from the clash with protesters in 2005, we had some members of the community that had kind of grown tired of seeing our local pride kind of tucked away in the corner. And we had requests that were mounting to move Charlotte Pride into the heart of the city. And so in 2010, the event was moved to South Tryon Street, taking over just 3 blocks from Stonewall to 3rd. And we have been in Uptown ever since. The event's location wasn't the only thing being questioned by community members, unfortunately. Since 1994, no Pride March and parade had occurred in Charlotte, and the community was really clamoring for one. And so in 2013, we had our very first Pride March. And so this year will be the 11th anniversary of a Pride March in the Queen City. And last year's Pride, we had over almost 11,000 participants. And the parade was 3 hours long, which was just incredible. So we have seen significant changes and significant growth in the life of Pride Charlotte and Charlotte Pride. And one of the most significant has been our commitment to supporting those in need as a result of the pandemic and resulting economic downturn. We have seen significant growth, and in 2019, I believe we had about 200,000 visitors for Pride, the Pride Festival weekend, which was a record and very exciting. And then COVID hit. We like everyone the world over, we had to put everything on pause. But that didn't stop us. We unveiled our community relief program in 2019 in partnership with United Way of Central Carolinas, as well as the Foundation for Carolinas, with additional support from Charlotte Black Pride and private donors. And with that support, we were able to award more than $16,000 in direct emergency assistance grants to more than 160 community members, which we're very proud of. And then in the fall of 2021, we had another round of $15,000 that was granted to individuals in need. And the spirit of solidarity really extended to a weekend of service that we organized that saw more than a dozen community organizations come together with over 300 individual volunteers partnering with us here at Charlotte Pride to give back to the community in various volunteer service projects. And thankfully, in 2022, we were able to resume our festival and parade, but we did not let COVID stop us. We were out there with masks, doing the work, and celebrating with the community our resilience, because we are nothing if not resilient. And then in 2022, we had our belated anniversary celebration and the biggest festival in the history of Charlotte Pride, seeing 275,000 attendees descending on Uptown Charlotte for the festival weekend, which is a true testament not only to our community, but the support that we received, and we're so grateful. And then, so we had, just to give some perspective, so in 2010, we had 10,000 participants or 10,000 attendees when we moved to Uptown, and 275,000 in 2022, which was a record. And then in 2023, we had 260,000 attendees, but we also had our largest parade on record in 2023 with 11,000 participants. So we are nothing if not resilience. Like I said, our community has really shown up, and I'm very proud that Wedgewood has long been a part of and a supporter of Charlotte Pride. My very first Pride in Charlotte, I remember walking, down the vendor's lane and seeing the Wedgewood tent, which was very exciting. So mark your calendars for 2024. We have August 17th and 18th as our event dates for this year. We will be in Uptown Charlotte, and you can see a picture from last year's festivities. We will have, I believe, 5 different stages this year. We have a community stage. Charlotte Black Pride will have a stage. The Charlotte Gamers Network will have a stage. We have our Flourish stage, and we will also have our main stage. So lots of exciting things happening. So I tried to kind of keep everything pretty brief. I could go on and on about Charlotte Pride's history, but if you'd like to learn more, you can visit charlottepride.org/history. But I wanted to go ahead and open the floor for any questions or discussion.
That was great information.
Thank you.
I don't have a question, just a couple things I wanted to comment on is Flip is one of those people that is anti everything. And he lives in Concord, but he's very concerned with Charlotte activity, and he comes and speaks to city council, county commissioners. He spoke about the bathroom bill. He's always at the clinic up here on Latrobe Drive, the women's clinic on Saturdays. So he's very concerned about Charlotte for some reason, but he lives in Concord, and all the people he brings with him on his buses are also from Concord. But I wanted to also say, and Liz knows that Transcend Charlotte started at Wedgewood. I don't know if many of you knew that or not, but we're very proud of that. They started having meetings there. We had a clothing closet for Transcend Charlotte where they could come and get jewelry and dresses and coats and suits and anything they wanted. And they held their meetings there. And then I want to put a pitch in for Charlotte Pride Band. If you have not been to a Charlotte Pride Band concert, that is the absolute best deal in Charlotte. I'm telling you, it is. We go to every single concert, and then we go out to eat afterwards, and it's a wonderful evening. They are really, really good. Their concerts now, most of them are free. They have a basket there for you to donate to the Pride Band for they travel to Atlanta and other places, but you need to go to a Charlotte Pride Band concert. I'm going to put a big pitch into them. That I can't wait till they have a concert because it's our cheap evening out, and with some great entertainment and some awesome people. And one more thing is Wedgewood was having drag shows before drag shows were popular. In the building where we used to meet, the Enclave, Chris Ayers had a drag show every year there at a pageant. So I'm telling you, we're just ahead of the times. But
Yeah.
thanks, Lyd. That was great. I learned so much that I
Absolutely.
did not know. I appreciate that.
Well, and I meant to mention Wedgewood has actually participated in Charlotte Pride's interfaith service. Ryan represented Wedgewood during the service last year, which was really, really awesome. And we've had a number of representatives at this. I believe Wedgewood actually hosted it one year, many
I
years
believe
ago.
so.
Yeah.
Good information.
Thank you.
It was excellent, excellent presentation.
And the presentation basically says we're all a one. We are the same people. We got blood. We have heart. We breathe. We're the same.
Yeah, we are. We're all the same.
Here we go.
Thank you so very much, Liz. Any other questions? You answered everything. There's no questions to ask.
Yes, you did.
I tried not to make it too lectury, but still keep it interesting. And there's a lot of history there.
Wasn't there kind of a fight and a struggle with the community in the early days and with some politicians to get it started, I believe?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I believe I've heard that.
There's always controversy when it comes to any sort of pride organization, unfortunately.
When it comes to change.
People don't
And
like
folks,
change.
there are people that want to go back on the bathroom bill, all kinds of things, after this election. So please, please, please exercise your right to vote because this community needs us.
Yes, yes. And I want to tell you, Liz, in 2016, I had a convertible fancy car in the parade in 2016.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Miss Connie.
It's such a fun parade.
Oh, I had a great time. Great time.
We believe we're the largest parade in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
actually went to one of the automotive dealerships and asked them for a loaner. And they said no one had ever come to them.
Really?
I said, I'm coming. I need one of your cars. And so it was, I forget the name, one of those, the English car. I had one of those convertibles. Yeah.
What? You are too much, Miss Connie.
I can see you styling in that convertible.
Yes.
I think Wedgewood needs to get back in the parade and go to that dealership.
Right, right.
I'll definitely do that parade because I'll be waiting.
Me too. We can all ride in that fancy car.
Right, right.
It's a really fun parade. I've been in it before I started working at Charlotte Pride. I was in the parade once, and it was a blast.
It is.
That is wonderful. Miss Connie, you should speak one day and tell us some more of your stories. Your stories are so great.
Well, listen, as old as I am, of course I got stories.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. The senior folks, they got some stories. I love talking to the elders. I love their stories. You can learn a lot, and a different perspective because it was a different time, and how they looked at things. So I listened to my grandmother a lot with her stories, Yeah, we have to put Miss Connie down, Melba.
Yes, we've got her down to speak.
Yes, some more stories. I could learn something. Wow. Well, we ready for our song? I want you all to sing along with me. We're going to end it up on a high note. It's a beautiful day. It's Sunday. It's Pride Month. Everything. There's so many blessings around us. And I just want to let you all know that we all are one. Check it out. Yes, we are the same person. We look different on the outside, but on the inside, we're the same. Yes.
Liz has our closing words.
As we move into Pride Month, may we all reflect on the fact that we are all one. We have so much more in common than the things we have that are different from each other.
Mhm.
And if we spent just a little more time reflecting on that, the world would be a better place. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, everyone. We extinguish this flame, but we keep the light in our hearts. With this message of love and justice, taking it outside of these walls in which we live in, until we see each other again. Amen. Ashe. And may it be so. Now go in peace.